Hi guys, Meet here, and today's video we're going to look at the rumours that are circulating about the Switch 2. Now, there's been a lot of buzz in the news industry lately that the Switch 2 is going to be announced this year, and if it's not a successor to the current Switch, it will be certainly an upgrade similar to the Xbox One X. Now, the rumours that are circling are that it's going to have an upgraded RAM, double the RAM, and a lot bigger storage, which would be a really big. I think the Switch is desperately in need of a technical upgrade. I think it was slightly underbaked when it released originally, and I think this will really be the injection that the current console needs to sort of bring it in line with the industry. I did a video on this, which you can see the link below, in which I looked at the current faults with the Switch, and certainly the technical aspects was one of them. I think by upgrading these components, it'll definitely go some way to improving the Switch. I'm not saying it's going to fix all the problems. It's still got the inherent problems with the software and stupid little Nintendo intricacies where you've got to, like the online system is very poor, and I think that could do with a big overhaul, but that's something that they could certainly do on a software side. So to hear that they're looking at upgrading the hardware aspects of it, then that's great, then that's fantastic. Also, the thing that they're touting is that it's going to have an OLED panel and it will be thinner. It remains to be seen how that impacts on battery. That's a big thing. If it's using a lot more power, then it impacts on the portability of the product. So that will be interesting how they go about sort of maintaining the handheld aspect of the Switch whilst also meaning that it doesn't run out of battery within 1 or 2 hours, because they really have to get the right balance between portability and sort of being able to play on the go. So it'll be interesting how they address that if the rumors are true, but it's definitely a good thing if they are happening. So at the minute, you're hearing a lot of mixed reports over whether the Switch 2 will happen in 2019 or whether it'll happen in 2020. Nintendo are denying that anything's happening, but that's not the first games company to do that. Microsoft's infamous quote is that we don't comment on speculation, so Nintendo are going to be no different. So they're not going to come out and say it is happening until it actually, there's an announcement at E3 or one of the conferences where it does happen. But yeah, there's a lot of buzz and a lot of rumors circulating that it is. So it will be interesting to see whether it does when it finally comes out at one of the trade shows. One of the things that I talked about in my other video about the Switch is that I think for it to remain relevant and competitive, it has to sort of try and compete with the current gen consoles, which the Switch at the minute doesn't do. So it's less powerful than the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, not the Xbox One X, the Xbox One, which I think was a poor design choice by Nintendo. I think docked they should have aimed to achieve 1080, and on the go they should have aimed to achieve 720. I think that to be competitive, those were the markers that they had to meet. Like the novelty of the portability will eventually wear off, and then that becomes a problem. If you look at the original Wii, it sold amazing, but I treat it more like a board game than an actual games console. It was a great thing to play with the family, and it had some good games, but ultimately it didn't have longevity. It sort of faded very quick. It was sort of thing that people got out when they had friends around, and it was an amazing experience. But as a games console for me, it didn't really meet that. And I didn't go out and buy many games to play on it. I always had a second console to play the proper AAA titles, because they were on a inferior product when you were playing them on the Wii. The pad wasn't sufficient, blah blah blah. But I think if they do these Switch upgrades, then I think it could genuinely be a contender as a viable console that's portable and docked, which I think is a really big thing for Nintendo. So it'll be interesting to see the developments that happen over the next few months and whether Nintendo do eventually come clean, that they've got this new product that they're going to release at Christmas, this big upgrade. I think it'll be really big for Nintendo if they do. I think it could really push them into this sort of AAA category where they're competing with Microsoft and Sony, and where they can get top titles, not inferior products and half-baked products like proper, like FIFA on your Switch or Call of Duty, without having to make concessions because you don't have the power. And I think if they do, Nintendo could be a genuine contender in the future. So it'll be interesting to see. I think a lot of things will come out in the near future, so we'll keep an eye on it. So that's my thoughts about the Switch 2. If you liked the video, be sure to give me a like. If you didn't, then give me a dislike and let me know why in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the videos, I'm doing some more, so feel free to subscribe. Thanks a lot.